Hi children, in this video we are going to discuss about respiration in animals. We all know that all the living organisms respire, and we know that respiration is energy producing process in which energy is used to carry out metabolic activities in the body. Now the question is, do all living organisms have same type of respiratory organs? No, they do not have the same type of respiratory organs. Why respiratory organs in living organisms are different? So because there are two reasons. One is size of an organism and second one is habitat. So depending upon the size of an organism and habitat, so living organisms have different respiratory organs. Different respiratory organs, children. Okay, and let us see that how respiration is carried out in unicellular organisms and multicellular organisms. So some of the organisms such as like unicellular organisms such as like amoeba children. So respiration is carried out by the process of diffusion. Through cell membrane. Children. Got it? Then what about earthworms? Organisms like earthworms which lives in the soil, so they respire through what, children? Skin. If the respiration is carried out by the skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration. Got it? So if the respiration is carried out by the skin, then it is called as cutaneous respiration, children. Okay. And next, in some of the organisms such as like say that it is insects. Then what about in insects? So in insects, children, respiratory organs are trachea. So in insects, there are tube-like structures called as trachea, children. With the help of trachea, air enters into the body of the insects. Got it? So here, trachea. So trachea are the special structures which are seen in the insects in which air enters into their body through this trachea. So these trachea are what, children? Respiratory organs in insects. So if the respiration is carried out by the trachea, so then it is called as tracheal respiration. Isn't it? So what are trachea? Trachea are a small tube-like structures, children, in which it will allow the air to pass through it. Then what about some of the aquatic animals such as like fishes? About fishes. So they have a specialized structures, children. We call it as gills. Isn't it? So gills are the respiratory organs in fishes, in prawns also. Got it? If the respiration occurs with the help of gills, then it is called as branchial respiration. Got it? Then what about in man or in birds? Okay, children. So in birds, in amphibians, and in mammals. In mammals, what are the respiratory organs in them? So the respiratory organs are lungs. If the respiration is carried out by lungs, then it is called as pulmonary respiration. Children. Got it? So let us see here. In unicellular organisms such as like amoeba, the respiration is carried out by the simple process called as diffusion. So with the help of what, children? Cell membrane. Some of the organisms such as like earthworms which live in the soil, moist soil, children. So they respire with the help of skin. If the respiration is carried out with the help of skin, it is called as cutaneous respiration. And in insects, tracheal type of respiration. Tracheal respiration is seen in the insects. And in fishes, Gills are the special organs which are present in either side of the head, children. Okay, then they are called as gills, and if the respiration occurs with the help of gills, then such type of respiration we call it as branchial respiration. And in higher animals such as like birds, mammals and amphibians, children, so they respire with the help of lungs, and if the respiration which is carried out by the lungs, children, then it is called as pulmonary respiration. Got it? So here there are certain three important characteristics, common features of respiration, children, isn't it? So what respiratory organs? So what are the common features which are observed in respiratory organs of higher animals is the respiratory organs okay, are supplied with blood vessels. They are rich in what, children? Blood vessels. This is a very important what, children, a common thing which we see in the respiratory or in the different respiratory organs. Okay, so supplied with blood vessels and the surface area, that means they have a large surface area. So respiratory organs have large surface area. Okay, and the respiratory organs, the wall of respiratory organs are very thin, which helps in diffusion process, children. Sorry. Which helps in diffusion process. If the wall of the respiratory organ is very thin, then easily exchange of gases takes place. If it is very thick, then it will be very much difficult for carry out what, children? Diffusion process or for exchange of gases. Got it? So here there will be respiratory organs will be thin walled, children. So these are the common features which are seen in the respiratory organs of higher animals. So why it is not seen in the amoeba or unicellular organisms? Because organization is not seen. So different special type of respiratory organs are not seen in the unicellular organism because it is only a single, it is a minute, isn't it? So the whole process of respiration is carried out with the help of what? Cell membrane. Got it? But here in the higher animals, in the multicellular organisms, children, diffusion of gases cannot occur as easily when we compare it with what, children? Unicellular organisms. Isn't it? So let us see this what in amoeba. So this is amoeba, as you know that it is irregular in shape, children, and it lives in water. So how amoeba gets oxygen when it is in the water? When it is in the water, not it lives in the water. How do it get oxygen? Oxygen is available in the water in the dissolved state, children. Got it? So oxygen is availed in the dissolved state in the water. Got it? So with the help of this cell membrane, this is called as cell membrane. So oxygen enters inside the body of amoeba with the help of what, children? This cell membrane. Oxygen is enters into the cell or enters into the amoeba by the process of diffusion, and this oxygen is utilized by this amoeba for the respiration. So as a result of respiration, energy is released, and that energy it is used to carry out metabolic activities of amoeba, and at the same time carbon dioxide is also produced, and that carbon dioxide is expelled outside with the same cell membrane. Okay, so carbon dioxide is expelled outside, children, okay, with the help of cell membrane. Got it? So oxygen enters inside and carbon dioxide comes outside, children, okay, through the cell membrane only. Got it? So here the diffusion of gases, exchange of gases or supply of oxygen to this amoeba, it is very simple because the size of that amoeba is very small. So exchange of gases takes place very easily and very fastly also. But what about the organisms, multicellular organisms such as like earthworm, insects, fishes, birds, as well as what children? Birds, mammals, and in amphibians. So here the diffusion process cannot be much easier for multicellular organisms. So it cannot absorb oxygen cannot absorb directly to the cells. It takes lot of time, children, isn't it? So in order to supply oxygen very fast in multicellular organisms, children, so they needs another type of system, that is blood circulatory system. Got it? So here all these multicellular organisms, say that in earthworms, exceptional in what children? Insects. Okay, except in insects, earthworms, fishes, birds, mammals and amphibia. So what happens is they need another type of system, that is blood circulatory system. So this blood is a fluid, children. It consists of respiratory pigment called as hemoglobin. It consists of respiratory pigment called as hemoglobin. So this hemoglobin will absorb oxygen from the respiratory organs, and because of the help of circulatory system, children, so this blood will carry oxygen to the different types of cells in the body of multicellular organisms. In the same way, as a result of respiration, carbon dioxide is also produced. So the same backward flow of carbon dioxide is seen, children, isn't it? That means what? So blood supplied the oxygen to the cells. In the cells, respiration took place. As a result of respiration, carbon dioxide is formed. That same carbon dioxide again come back to the blood, and through the blood, so again it reaches to the respiratory organs in higher animals, and from that respiratory organs, children, so from that respiratory organs, by the with the help of different parts of respiratory organ, so it comes outside, isn't it? So this is seen usually the main thing that we see respiration in multicellular organisms. Got it, children? So here when you understand about the respiration in earthworms, children, earthworms keeps its skin always moist. Got it? So here the skin should be what, children? Moist. Why? It should be very slimy. When you observe the earthworm, so the skin of the earthworm will be very slimy. Okay, it will be very much moist because it traps or it absorbs the oxygen directly from the air, and the skin of the earthworm consists of large rich in blood vessels, and these blood vessels consist of blood, and it directly absorbs the oxygen. Okay, and that oxygenated blood will supply it to the different cells in the earthworm. In the same way, carbon dioxide is also collected, and through the skin itself, the carbon dioxide will be expelled outside from the body of earthworm. Okay, and next in insects, children, they have a specialized structures called as trachea. So let me draw here. See, this is an head, this is an thorax, and this is an abdomen. Got it? Abdomen. So this is an insect. Say that it is a cockroach, children. This is a compound eye, antenna is present. Okay, and here in the abdomen of this children, insects, they have a specialized structures, small holes, children. So these holes are called as spiracles, and with the help of these spiracles, air enters into the body. Let me draw. See, these are the spiracles. Okay, and these spiracles opens into a small tubes, children. They are called as trachea. They are called as what? Trachea. So you can see trachea from every children, spiracle. Okay, and these small spiracles I mean, these all trachea are again what joined with a very long trunk, isn't it, children, or tracheal trunk. Okay, so directly air enters into with the help of air enters into the body with the help of what, children, spiracles. Through the spiracles it enters into trachea is directly what, children, diffuses directly. Trachea helps in the diffusion process, children, in supplying the oxygen to the cells of the cockroach. Okay, so this is in the case of what, children, insects. If that respiration is carried out with the help of trachea, it is called as tracheal respiration. This is in the case of what, children, insects. Then what about the fishes? In fishes, especially in fishes, prawns, children, so respiration is carried out by the gills. Gills are the specialized structures, children, which are seen either side of the head. If you see the what, children's fish, see, this is a fish, this is a fish, children. This is a mouth. It has a what, eye. Okay, and here either side of the fish they have a gill pouches or gill cover. This is called as gill cover. Okay, so it covers, this gill cover will cover the gills, and it consists of what, children, gills which are very much rich in blood capillaries, children. Okay, these are the gills, and these gills have filaments called as gill filaments. They are called as gill filaments, children. Got it? When you observe fishes, you can see this one. Okay, so these are the gills, and these gills have a gill filaments also, in gill filaments. What is the main function of this gill filaments is they increase the surface area of the gills. So why? So because in order to absorb the oxygen from the water. So from where this oxygen is present, it is in the water in the dissolved state. Here in the respiration in what fishes, what happens here is water enters into the fish, through mouth. Okay, fish opens the mouth and water enters into the mouth, children, and when the fish closes its mouth, water is pushed outside with the what, children, gill slit. There will be a gill slit. With the help of that gill slit, water comes outside from this one. So as it comes outside, children, so these gill filaments are what, children, bathed with the water. As a result, the oxygen which is present in that water is absorbed by these gill filaments. In this way, respiration occurs in the what, children, fishes. Okay, and one more important thing. When you observe the fishes in the aquarium, so you will see that so fishes opens its mouth and closes very fastly. So why? Because oxygen availability is very less. Oxygen availability will be less, children, is less in water than in what, children, than in air. Okay, so oxygen availability, see, we have an abundant of what, children, oxygen in the air, but in the water of oxygen is present in the dissolved state, but the thing is what, children, it is not much. Got it? It is not abundant. So here, in order to get the oxygen, so the rate of breathing is very rapid in the aquatic animals, children. So why the breathing rate is very high? Because when they breathe, the rate of the breathing is increased, children, then the availability of what oxygen also they can take it more. Okay, to carry out the respiration process, children. In order to carry out the metabolic activities, it needs energy. That energy it gets only by the oxygen. So availability of oxygen is less in the water. In order to get the more amount of oxygen, what they do is they breathe, okay, rapidly. Okay, so here the rate of what breathing in aquatic animals is very high when we compare it with the terrestrial animals because of availability of what, children, water. Got it? So next, what about the birds, amphibians as well as mammals? So especially in amphibians, that is example like frog children. So two types of respiration is seen there. So what is that? Cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration is seen, as well as pulmonary respiration. Pulmonary respiration is also seen in the frogs, especially in the frogs children. Okay, already we have studied that what is meant by cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration means the respiration which is carried out by the skin. And what is pulmonary respiration? If the respiration carried out by the lungs, then it is called as pulmonary respiration. In frogs, cutaneous respiration is seen when it is in the water. When it is in the water, children, cutaneous respiration is seen. But when it is on the land, then lung respiration is seen, children, that is pulmonary respiration is seen when the frogs are on the land. Got it? So here, this is about what, children? Different types of respiratory organs in different animals. So we are going to study about what, children? Human respiratory system in the next class. Detailed study about that one. So according to your syllabus, children, this is more than enough. In higher classes, you will be studying especially about what, children? This gill respiration and branchial respiration. But for this class 10, it's more than enough, children. Okay, and we will study a detailed study about a human respiratory system, children. Okay, that we shall see it in the next video. Okay, that's all for today, children. So what we have studied here today, so we have seen that different organisms, I mean living organisms, have a different respiratory organs because of the two things, because of two reasons, that is size as well as habitat. Because of these two reasons, so living organisms have different type of respiratory organs. And we have also seen that different respiratory organs, children, in amoeba, you know very well that, so because of the process of diffusion with the help of cell membrane, so it respires. And in earthworms, soil, I mean which live in the soil, children, with the help of skin, so cutaneous respiration is seen in the earthworms. And what about in insects? In insects, tracheal respiration is seen. In fishes, branchial respiration is seen. In amphibians, cutaneous respiration, as well as what, children? Pulmonary respiration is seen. And in mammals, children, pulmonary respiration is seen because they live on land. So that's all for today, children. And I forgot to say one more thing here, children. What is that? Is in the insects. So what is that in insects? In insects, children, so there will be no hemoglobin because there is no respiratory pigment in the blood. So absent, hemoglobin is absent in the what, children? Insects. Because directly these tubules enters into the deeper into the what cells, and diffusion process occurs with the help of this trachea only. There is no respiratory pigment in the insects. That is why the insect's blood is white in color, because hemoglobin is absent in that. Okay, that's all for today, children. So by this we come to know that there are living organisms have different respiratory organs. So that's all for today, children. I hope you understood this lesson, children. If you really enjoyed this class, so please subscribe and share it to your friends. That's all for today.